Hello, my name is Phil Easter, historian and writer from Baltimore, Maryland, also known as the Amazing Memory Man, recording this evening on May 2nd, 2026. We are here at Baltimore's Mount Vernon place, an old part of Baltimore City, very historic area, and we are here for the annual Flower Mart of Baltimore. The Flower Mart began in 1911. Yes, it goes back that far, many years ago. Think about that. That was 1 year before the Titanic disaster. It was 3 years before World War I began in 1914. And when I was a young child, my mom brought me here many times. We grew up in this area of Mount Vernon Place, where we have the oldest monument to George Washington in the whole country. And also nearby, the Walters Art Gallery, the Peabody Conservatory of Music, and the main private library of the whole city. Here's something interesting about 1911, the year the Flower Mart began. It was the most unusual year in baseball history. The four winningest pitchers of all time, Cy Young, Walter Johnson, Christy Mathewson, and Grover Cleveland Alexander all played that same year of 1911. It's amazing. And the four pitchers who won the most games in baseball history were all active the same year, 1911. It was Cy Young's last year, Alexander's first year, and Mathewson and Johnson were in the middle of their careers, but they all played in 1911. In 1985, I was walking by the monument here on the evening of April 29th, 1985. I looked over to an inscription of the monument. If Bob could please show this now. I looked over where it says, President of the United States, 4 March 1789. And I said, oh my God, it's wrong. Because I knew that George Washington was inaugurated April 30th, 1789. Not March 4th. So even though the year is correct, they got the wrong day and month. And I'm very proud of that discovery after it'd been there almost 150 years and no one ever noticed. So I was interviewed by the Evening Sun newspaper a few months later. On July 8th, 1985, a major article came out about the monument and how I used my outstanding memory to discover that mistake. And then I had a few radio and television interviews after that, partly about my overall amazing memory for so many dates in history, as well as the mistake on this monument in particular. And that was 41 years ago. So I've mentioned this before on my YouTube channel, Phil Easter, the Amazing Memory Man. We did a story about the monument back in December 2024. We did that at nighttime, so now we're out here in the daytime on this lovely day of the annual Flower Mart. And it's just a great occasion. Every year since 1911, a very nice festival. There were a few exceptions. They didn't have it the pandemic year recently, and a couple times in the 1970s they didn't have it for some reason. But most years since 1911, this has been held at Baltimore's Mount Vernon Place, a very historic area. Well, we will see you next time for another story on another subject. I would now like to introduce my dear friends, Bob and Julia.